3, 2, 1. Today we're going to have a look at the different types of maps that geographers use. They're one of the most useful tools that we can use to process some information. And what you'll find is a map is a simplified plan of an area, usually looking down on it. And we use different types of maps for different things, and we're going to have a look at some of those today. One of the first that we're going to look at is a physical map. Now, a physical map is something that looks a little bit like this, and you can see here is an example of an old physical map of South America, and it shows the natural features. You can see the rivers, you can see the mountains on the left-hand side of the continent. As well as physical maps, I've got a second type of map that we'll look at, which is a political map. And these you would be very well aware of. They look at the borders of countries, and they look at maybe states within a country. In this particular map of South America, you can see the names of the countries here, and you can see the borders between each country. You can also see the names of the oceans. When you join a physical and a political map together, so put both of those lots of information together, you find a map that's called a cadastral map. We don't hear of this map very often, or the word used for this map, but here's an example of the information that we've just looked at in South America in terms of the natural features, and you can see some of the elevation here. They talk to us about the height of the land, and we can see the mountains down the left-hand side of the continent again, and we can see the edges of the countries and the names of the countries. So when looking at these sort of maps, they're useful for finding out why things are where they are. A map that you probably see regularly on the nightly news is a weather map, or sometimes they're called synoptic charts. And on a synoptic chart we see all sorts of things that are going on in the atmosphere. And here's an example of one that's in the United States of America, and it's showing us a number of different things, different symbols for different types of weather. And so from these we would see the day-to-day weather patterns. You might decide you might want to do something on a particular day, and once you've seen the weather map of the particular day coming up, you think maybe not such a good idea to spend the day outdoors when there's a huge storm happening. So they can be quite useful. A map that you might use if you go bushwalking is a contour map, or more commonly known, a topographic map. And the topographic map, like this one for example, will show lines on it. Some of those will have numbers on them, and those numbers show the height above sea level. Helps us to see a little bit of where mountains might be, or valleys. So it's showing the natural features of a particular area, as well as man-made features. Now, if you are into colour, then the next sort of map is for you, and that is a choropleth map. And a choropleth map is one that uses different shades of a particular colour. And here in this one, they've used the darker colours to use the greater amounts of whatever the map is talking about. In this case, the native speakers, or the languages that they're using, and the least amount is the lighter colour, as you can see here through the key. So here you would be looking at particular examples of different topics. And another way that you can actually look at particular topics is through a thematic map. And a thematic map like the one shown, probably most of us will never ever see a map like this again, is a thematic map. So this thematic map, you choose a theme or a particular topic that you're looking at, and this is looking at where in geological history the land has come from on the North American continent. So we've had a look at a number of maps, different types of maps. We've had a little bit of a look at what you'd use them for. Then by no means the only maps that you'll experience in geography, and we'll be looking at a number a little bit later on. So we've had a look at choropleth maps. We've also looked at topographic, thematic maps, weather maps, or the other word for those is a synoptic chart, physical maps, political maps, and there you have it, the different types of maps and what they've been used for.